Hey y'all. All right, we're gonna try this again. Uh, had a little visitor come by and wanting to pick up his vehicle. So, all right, got him taken care of. He's on his way. All right, now we can do this. Okay. Now again, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start the car up. I'm gonna let you hear what you're gonna hear when you've got a bad engine or transmission mount. Yeah. See what I'm talking about? It's bad. Sometimes, see, it tends to kind of go away when you put it in reverse. Okay. Now, let's see, give it gas. Yeah, see what I'm talking about? That engine shifts around whenever you go, you put it in, give it gas, you put it in gear, in a certain gear, and that engine mount is now making metal to metal contact instead of metal to rubber contact. And when that happens, this sort of thing can transpire and happen in your vehicle. Now, four cylinders are by design, they're a little more apt to have this problem than V8s or V6s or inline six-cylinder engines. Uh, Now, the other day I made a video showing V8. Let me get the camera turned around here, okay? I'm gonna get my hand out of the way. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna do a little experiment. We're gonna put the jack under the engine on the oil pan. Now you want to be really careful. And when you do that, all of a sudden you come back in here and all the vibration is gone, isn't it? Because that load is gone from the mount. So we're going to go ahead and shut this sucker off. Get the door shut. Ugh, man, that noise. Okay, now this is actually a really simple mount change. Now, all four cylinders suffer from this problem, okay? Even if they have balanced shafts and all kinds of other things to help with the vibration. But on this particular car, it just takes like a 10 millimeter. So we'll get the 10 millimeter. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to set you all up over here somewhere so that y'all can see what I'm doing and get a better view of what I'm doing here, because I want you to see that it's not a very hard job to do this. Okay, let's see. Can we get this? Can we get it to do what I want it to do? Is basically, okay. All right, I think we can make that work right there. Now, as you saw, just remove the two little 10 millimeter bolts. Just gonna set them up here, get them out of the way, just to remove this washer, or not washer, I'm sorry, radiator overflow container. Now, this is a front wheel drive, and most all your front wheel drives have a similar kind of setup. Okay, so also, let's see, set that there where it won't spill. I got to get one more tool. I'll be right back. Okay, now, like I was saying about front wheel drives, they usually have like a mount here, and then they're going to have a mount over there on the other side. Sorry, on the other side of the engine, on the other end. And when that happens, they usually have like a mount over here on the transmission, and it's under the battery right here, and that one has been changed. And usually they'll have like a torque strut, like up here up front. Usually it could be up top, or it can be down there in the bottom, or it can even, like this one, it's back here and it's on the bottom, down here at the bottom back side of the engine and transmission. And basically, without that, this engine would be able to pivot back and forth. So that's why you want that torque strut. Okay, it just keeps the engine from moving and rollicking around. Now, this one is completely worn out. And so let's go ahead and get it changed. So I'm going to set you up right there so you can see, get a better idea, see what's going on. I'm going to carry on talking with you all. And let's see. Okay, yep, 18 millimeter. The two little small bolts up here holding the radiator overflow is 10 millimeter. The two larger nuts here that attach the mount to the engine itself is 18. And you'll need probably like a 1/2-inch drive ratchet or breaker bar to break them loose. If you have access to like a really nice impact, then you can use an impact on those. An impact gun, you know, air or electric. Either one of those works out great. What you can also do, so we'll get those broken loose, then we'll go over them with my little impact and get them all taken off. Tell you what, let me see, can I move the camera again and let you all get maybe better? Oh, sorry. A little better view maybe. Let's see, what kind of view is that? That's not great, is it? Son of a gun. I was hoping to get you all a little bit better view. See, I've got those two bolts broken loose. I got to get that one loose and that one down there, that bolt down there. And then we've got that bolt right there. So not a lot. It's actually not a hard job it's not a hard job to do. So what we'll do is we'll get this. It's too bad I don't have something to keep the camera right there. How about right there? Oh, also too, if anybody's got any questions, comments, ideas, anything like that, or even creative criticism, go ahead and I'm just going to position you all up there so you get a little bit better overview of what I'm doing. I know it's not the best view, but sorry, I just don't want to beat the camera phone up. So anyway, all right, here we go. Break these bolts loose. Now again, you want to make sure and support the engine when you're doing this. This is not a tremendously hard job, okay? My goal is to help you all do these kind of jobs like this and make your life or your time in the garage under the hood a little bit less stressful and a little bit better. A little more rewarding. Okay. Okay, so we got those three bolts. You can see this one is what, a bolt stud arrangement. Okay, they're all three the same thread, so if you get them mixed up, it's not that big a deal. Okay. It would be nice to have this one, the bolt stud, go back towards the front of the mount, towards the front of the car. But if you do mix it up, it's not life-threatening. You know, nothing tremendously bad going to happen there if you get it mixed up. Now, don't be shocked or surprised if, when you're doing this, the engine moves or the car moves or the car raises up or something like that. And another thing is you get ready to like maneuver stuff around, but you're probably going to need to. Okay, so here in just a minute I'll give you a little view of what I'm talking about. Okay, get the camera here, phone. You see right there, see how that's all busted out right there? Yep. All right, now, here's what's going to be the fun part. I have to take this I have to take this part off of this, probably bend these tabs and this, and get it off of this aluminum piece here, and then get it out of there, and then I can put this back in there. Okay, that's going to be the hard part. Okay, but if you're resourceful and you've got like a vise and some pry bars and maybe a hammer, you can probably get this done. Okay, all right, let's get to it. Let's get a hammer and let's get a pry bars and let's get a vise. Fortunately, I've got all of those things. Okay, here we go. We got a hammer, we got a pry bar, and we got a vise. And I got to shut my door on my truck. Okay, let's get in here to the vise so we can manipulate things. Okay, here we go, everybody. All right, what we're going to do is these two pieces have to be bent out so that they can release, and this part can just drop and then be pulled out. So, yeah. So that part. So what we got to do, open this up to hold this part. Now, if you don't have a vise, or you don't have access to one, you don't know anybody who's got a vise or anything like that, vices aren't tremendously expensive. And if you are going to be doing a lot of, even good ones aren't tremendously expensive. Let's see, here we go. We're just going to bend that out. It's just rubber covered. It's just some steel that's covered with rubber, really. It's all it really is. So all we're going to do is we're just going to bend this sucker out, get it bent out there, get it bent over. Got to be a little brutal, a little He-Man, caveman on it. Okay. We just want to get it bent out of the way so we can get the old mount off. Sorry. Yeah. So let's see. All right. That is looking like it's ready to come on out of there. Okay. So see, that's what you want. You want to get those clear of this part right here, these parts right here. Okay. So now let's try taking that out and see what happens. Okay. Let's see. Let me flip the camera around here. Okay. So now we've got, get you set up here so you can see pretty good what's going on. All right. So as you can see, now, like I was saying though, a good vise is not that expensive. Cheap ones are, well, they're cheap, but I would rather have a cheap one than not have one at all. And, you know, you can still get a pretty good one from, like, say, you can still get pretty good ones from, like, say, all sorts of different places. Tool, all kinds of, Northern Tool, Harbor Freight. That's where this one came from, is Harbor Freight. So, anyway. Got to get it bent out a little bit more. I'm going to use some pliers on this, probably some channel lock style pliers, and just bend this out even flatter. Be right back. Gotta get the channel locks. Okay, if I haven't, here's the new one. Okay, as you can see, it'll just go in there like that, and then this part will bend over, and this part will have to bend over. Okay, so here we go. here. Get it bent out here where it's. Now, if I haven't already mentioned it, this is an '08 Ford Focus. It's not like a GT or nothing like that. It's just a plain Jane Focus. Okay. It's probably one of the least expensive Ford Focuses you could get. Okay. All right. I think I may have to move this to get this thing all apart. But let's keep working. Whoa. Oh, look at there. Look there. Okay, great. I don't have to get this other bracket out of the way. All right, but yeah, look. All right, see? See what I'm talking about? This thing is shot. You can even... yeah, this thing's bad. It's really, really bad. So that's what I'm talking about. This thing is really, really just shot all to pieces. So yeah, this is what was causing all the noise. Yeah, and see what happens is this thing would move around and allow the engine to move around, especially when the engine would like be in gear, you know, and you give it a little gas and it'd shift around, you know, and it would cause that metal on metal contact in there, and you would feel or hear all that vibration in the car. So there you go. Now you just want to make a real close visual inspection there real quick, you know, just to make sure that they're both got, see, this has got a little slant, this part does. You want to make sure that the old one has got the same kind of slant, you know, they're both visually the same. Okay, so here we go. Let's go back in there with it. Get that in there. Now, of course, you may have to be a little more forceful. You have to tell this part who's going to be boss here, you or that part. Okay, so here we go. All right. Yeah, had to get a little rough with it, but no big deal. Didn't damage nothing, as you can see. And this is aluminum. Okay, so and when you're hammering on aluminum or something like that, you want to be kind of careful. Okay. I could have hammered on this with a regular hammer, but there's a wooden workbench right here. I just took this and hit it against the wooden workbench and basically forced that piece, that flat metal piece that's covered with rubber, in here. Now I'm going to take it, clamp it down in the vise. I'm going to start working on it. I want to get it bent up and get them both bent over this little piece here so that to clamp down on that. And of course, we want to tighten this down in the vise really good. Make sure it's nice and tight. So, okay, we've got that nice and tight. That looks to be, yeah, it looks to be right in the location we're supposed to be in the mount. So, let's get busy. Let's get cracking on this. As the Brits like to say, let's get cracking. So, of course, you want to be careful anytime you're doing work like this, because things can slip, cut your hand, cut your face. Be careful where you put your face. Be careful where you put your hands too as well. Of course, sometimes they want to be stubborn. So we got time to do something with pliers. So here we go. And what you're going to face is trying to get this metal piece to come up over the aluminum part. Get it up there. You want it, which is up over this aluminum part. That's where you're going to have trouble. So just be aware. It's not going to be the easiest to get that thing come up over it like you want. Okay. All right. All right. I've got to go get another tool. My apologies. I'll be right back. Okay, big pair of choke locks. And you could also do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to force this little metal piece, this metal tongue, I guess you could call it. We just want to force it up on there. And we want to bend it up on there just like that. Right. Good. There's what we wanted. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. See how that is all bent up over that? Sorry. All right, see how this little piece is. I'm trying to get you a good view of this. See how this is all bent up over that? Yeah. See, like that? That's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be bent up over this. I'm going to hit this a couple times with a hammer and get it more in shape. But it's coming along. It's coming along really quickly. Of course, you want to be careful whenever you're hammering around aluminum because it can, like I said, it can go south on you in a hurry. Hit it the wrong way, crack it and break it and everything like that. Aluminum can sometimes be very brittle. So you just want to be really careful how you're hitting it. Okay. Now, of course, I could use a smaller hammer, but I wanted to really get this done, and I wanted this to really, really do what I wanted to do without a whole lot of issues. Okay. All right. Okay, there we go. This part's done. As you can see, right there we got both of those parts folded over onto this aluminum bracket piece. So we'll go ahead and get this thing on the car now. Now, this should take care of all the vibration. Okay, so as you can see, old, new. Now, let's get busy. I do apologize if my camera work is not the steadiest in the world. Okay. And tell you what, let me switch this back around, okay? All right. Love to have you all be able to see like down in there, but you can see this is where the mount goes. And I'm going to go try to hold the camera and put the mount in all at the same time. And then again, maybe not. Okay, so probably not. So here we go. I'm going to set you all up right here. I know it's not the best view in the world, but my apologies. You just basically, it's kind of a two-handed operation, and it's pretty hard for me to do it one-handed. Let's see, can we get to clear? Ah, there we go. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. All right, can we get this? All right, we need a pry bar. Be right back. All right, we're back. Got the pry bar. Just got to move this mount, the aluminum part. Anyway, got to move it around, kind of get it where I want it. So here we go. I'm gonna put the threaded stud back up towards the front so that I keep wanting to call it a washer fluid jug, but it's actually an antifreeze overflow container. So we'll get that put back in right there. And go. When you're doing these engine mounts like this, you got to be really careful. You want to make sure that, let's see. Okay, that's maybe a little bit better. I just don't want to knock the camera around. Okay, that was my reason why I moved you earlier. Okay, so you can see we're getting the engine mount assembly back in the vehicle, back in the car. Now you want to make sure and try to get everything back in alignment so that the alignment's good. And all right, so okay. You also don't be afraid to shift or move the engine around if you need to, because if you don't, you know, what can happen is the engine can be in kind of a bind with the other mounts or something like that, and you don't want that. Whoops, sorry. We're tightening that one down. I'm not tightening. I don't want to tighten it down all the way right now. I just want to run the bolts down just a little bit. Okay. And then back here, we want to do the same thing. Okay. I want to leave them loose enough now. I'm going to go down here, and as you can see, this bolt here isn't up here high enough where I can put the nut on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down there, I'm going to jack the engine up a little bit, get it up here. So here we go. As you can see, yep, there we go. It's coming up. All right, so now we got that one nut I'm going to put on there like so. Then we got the whole stud that came out of the other side. Now, of course, I want to make sure it lines up because it threads into aluminum, so that's very important. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little extra time here, and I'm going to take, let's see. Can we move this around a little bit and get this thing where I want it? Maybe. Hopefully. Ah, yes, there we go. That's what I was saying, though. Don't be afraid to move or shift the engine around a little bit. Sometimes you got to be a little brutal with these things because they don't want to cooperate. Okay, so all right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run them down just a little bit, like we did the other bolts with 18 millimeter. See how the engine's rising up a little bit? Now we want to make sure that the nut doesn't run down further. We want to make a note of that mentally. Okay. All right, that looks pretty good to me right there. So I'm going to run this one down a little. Rest of the way. Okay, both of them are run down the rest of the way. Now I'm going to take the other ones, I'm going to run them down. And I think we're going to have this thing all the way here in just a couple more minutes. Just a few more minutes, I think we'll have this thing all the way we want it. Okay, here we go. Lock that down. Okay, lock that down too. Okay, locked all three of those down. Now you want to make sure and go over all of these bolts with, something with a little more torque. If you're doing it with an impact, you want to do it with a larger impact than one of these. If you're doing it like I'm doing it by hand, then you want to go over it with like a probably half-inch drive, probably a long breaker bar or big long ratchet. Okay, so anyway, it's pretty simple. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get off here, and all right, like I said, pretty simple stuff, not really complex, not really hard. This is an easy job most anybody can do. If you can like change oil and change filters and spark plugs, you can do this. Okay, it's not that hard. All right. It's a little it is a little difficult swapping that engine mount out, but not all engine mounts are like this. A lot of them are very different. Okay, so some of them are just simple bolt-on deals. That one is a little more involved because you do have to bend those tabs over, or those metal tongues. You have to bend those over the aluminum bracket. So that's just something to think about. Okay, but anyway, at any rate, I hope you were able to learn from this, and I hope this can help you out in the garage or under the hood. Make your life your time there a lot more satisfying. If you got any questions, comments, ideas, anything, creative criticism, whatever, put it down there below. Okay, thank you, and God bless, and everybody have a great day.